Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you have not subscribed yet, don't forget to click that subscribe button. If you are a new subscriber, I just want to officially welcome you to the tribe. Welcome to Nosipa Gumeda's YouTube channel. You are at the right place. We are here to motivate each other. We're here to inspire each other. We're here to live life together, man. You know what I mean? I know I've disappeared for such a long time. I'm officially back. This is my first official video since everything that has happened, and I just want to say thank you guys so much for waiting for me. I know it's been a whole year without filming any content, but you still stayed on the channel. I still got a notification maybe once a week to tell me that there's new subscribers that have become part of the tribe. So I just want to say thank you so much. We're officially 18 subscribers away from the 1,000 subscribers mark, and I'm so excited, and I'd be so grateful if we'd reach that before the start of the new year, so that we start the year in a high note, you know, with well, clearly defined goals. So I just want to say thank you so much for believing in the vision of the channel. If you have not subscribed yet, I just want to repeat again, don't forget to click that subscribe button. And yeah, guys, I know it's been a long year without filming anything, and I've decided to do this video to just catch up with you guys, let you know what was happening behind the scenes, and just let you know where I am now and where to going forward. And I guess the first place to start is the reason why I was not showing up on your screen. And the first obvious one is the fact that I was pregnant. So I've been pregnant. I recently just gave birth in October, so that's why I wasn't filming content. Not that I was hiding my pregnancy or anything. I get that a lot. I get asked if I was trying to hide my pregnancy from the public. No, not really. I just cautiously decided not to be on social media a lot for a lot of reasons, and one of them being the fact that, you know, when you're pregnant, you open yourself to the world, to so many opinions about pregnancy, about becoming a parent and all of that. And I intentionally wanted to do my own research and, you know, consume what I want to consume, control the amount of influence that I have on the situation that I was on. So I desperately needed to be away from the noise of social media and everything, just to, you know, prepare myself for this new role that I was about to take up as a mom. And I think that's really helped me. And, you know, I always do this when I need to go off socials. I am happy to do it, because I know that social media is a good thing, but sometimes it can be too much for our mental health. So that's why I decided to then take things aside. I was not hiding my pregnancy or anything. If you bumped into me in the mall, then you'd see I was pregnant. I mean, most of the time I really enjoyed wearing bodycon dresses during my pregnancy. So you'd definitely see me. If you bump into me, you'd see that I'm pregnant. So that's the reason why I decided to go off social media. And I wasn't completely off. I'd still log on to, you know, consume whatever content that I want to consume. But it was specifically, I was intentional about consuming content that wasn't related to my pregnancy journey. If I was, then it was more educational stuff and, you know, helping me in the journey itself. So to make things easier for myself and for you guys, I decided to do a Q&A on Instagram, basically asking what you guys would like to catch up on. And I've got a few questions that I'd like to cover in today's video. I did try to answer some questions on Instagram, but I wasn't giving a lot away, obviously, because I wanted to lure you guys onto the channel. So here we are exclusively answering all those questions. Everything that you guys wanted to know, I will be covering today. Okay, guys, so the first question that I got that I'd like to cover first, the questions will be answered in no particular order. The first one is, how am I? How am I doing? I'm fine, guys. As you can see, I'm happy. I hope you can see it through your screens that I'm really happy. I'm at a good place mentally, physically, spiritually. I'm really happy. And I think being away from the socials, like I already mentioned, has contributed a lot in how I feel right now, because I got time to really prepare myself mentally, spiritually, emotionally for what was to come, which is the baby. And I really feel like I got to connect with who I really am. I got to connect with God, and I'm happy now because I prepared myself for what was to come. So I feel like motherhood has really treated me very well in the first few days, even though I did have a bit of a fall off in the first few days of my pregnancy, and we'll get into that. But right now, I really feel like I'm happy, guys. I'm at a good place. Obviously tired. It's the end of the year. Everyone's got year-end fatigue, but I'm really looking forward to the new year. I think my mindset is ready to restart. I've already used the birth of my baby as a mechanism for me to restart my life in whatever area that I need to restart. I just didn't cut my hair. I don't know if I'm still going to do it, but I just didn't cut my hair. But I really feel like I've restarted my life. And I used the last few days of 2021 to also just, identify further areas that may need to be restarted or re-strategized again. So I'm really at a good place, and I'm ready. I've got the energy to, get back to the game and go on and work for all those dreams. So I really feel like I'm at a good place, and I hope you can see it. Okay, so that was the first question. The next question is, how's motherhood, guys? Wow. Forgive me if I get teary-eyed, but whoa. God is really, really showing off in motherhood. I must just say this, that this is one place where I've really experienced God's love. I've never seen God in this form before, and I'm so privileged. And I want to say this so many times, and I won't get tired of saying it. I'm really privileged to have experienced motherhood at this particular time where I am in my life. I think it came at the right place, at the right time where I really needed to experience the reality of who God was. And I saw it, I felt it. Like, God is amazing. From the process of how a baby forms inside a mother's womb to, watching the process of growth to eventually giving birth, I've really seen how amazing God is. How a baby forms to how a baby is born is all up to God. Anything can happen, and He needs to give that go ahead, that authority. And I've seen that in my life and through motherhood. And that's why I'm like, I'm on a different level with God now. And I think I've spoken about a similar experience in one of my past videos, where I speak about my journey in America and how I had that encounter with God. This was also one of those moments. For a good 9 months, I was constantly getting these revelations about who God really is through my pregnancy, because I would wonder, I'd get so mesmerized trying to understand how. Just 2 months ago, my tummy was not showing. Now my tummy's growing. Now my baby's starting to kick, and next thing my baby's here and he's crying for the first time. All of that just shows you how amazing God is. And I just want to emphasize at how privileged I am. I'm privileged to experience this at this point in my life. So yeah, motherhood has treated me very well. I'm happy. It's hard though. I must say that it's quite hard. It's not easy. You have to go back to the sleepless nights. You have to do things that you haven't done before. Practical things like how to breastfeed a baby. You wouldn't know it unless you are a second-time mom, but like those type of things you have to learn. But some of them, I must say, they come naturally. And again, that's the power of God, right? Again, that's God showing off that when I think that you're ready to be a mom, I'll give you the ability. And I've seen that completely in my life. Obviously, with the amazing support of the people around me, it has also made my motherhood journey easier. I think there's one question that I'm not going to answer specifically, that is someone has asked me how my support structure has helped me throughout my pregnancy, and I'm proud to say that I wouldn't be anything without the support structure that I've got from my husband, to my family, to my friends. I'm so grateful because I got everything that I needed to get emotionally, even physically, because I had people that were helping me with their hands physically. So that really gave me a better pregnancy experience, and I'm so grateful for that. And I guess that's why I'm also feeling like I'm in a good space and I'm enjoying motherhood so far. So that's where I am with that journey. I'm really loving it, and I'm looking forward to seeing what more it has to give for me, give to me in the next coming years. So I'm really, really excited. The next question is quite juicy, asking me how I found out I was pregnant, right? Wow. So around about March, is it March? Yeah, around about March this year, I started feeling funny. So I was consistently exercising. I'd do my morning walks or runs in the mornings. So I started feeling funny. Every time I'd go for a walk, I'd wake up and the walk would be fine. But when I get back, I would feel so hungry. Like I never feel like that. Literally after walking or running, I just want to take a shower, and I can even do 1 power hour of work after that, after the shower, and I don't think about food. But I started noticing when, like the first thing when I came back from a run, the first thing that I ever wanted was food. So I started noticing then that, nah, this is not like me, but I let it pass. My moods were crazy. I think my hormones, I really suffered from my hormones, guys. I must say this. I don't think people talk about this enough, but your hormones during pregnancy, they go crazy. And that was me. I felt that I experienced it, and I felt like I was in control of my emotions. I know myself, yeah. I know my emotions and I know how I react to situations. But for the first time in my life, I felt like, hi man, I only get into my senses after reacting to something, and that does not sound like me. I'm very aware of myself. So I noticed that I wasn't myself. Like I was not able to contain my emotions the way that I'm usually used to. So that was another thing. The other thing is, I guess the obvious one is periods, right? But this one was hard for me because I usually don't go on my periods every month. I'm not a regular periods girl, so I'm used to skipping a lot. I did not. I didn't notice. I didn't notice from that alone that maybe something was funny. But I noticed now after all these events that no, man, I think I've missed my periods for about 2 months or so. And so I was like, maybe it's best to go get a pregnancy test. I got my first one, and it came back positive. And I called my husband. I'm like, yo, come see this. I'm not understanding what's going on here. I showed it to him. Obviously, in disbelief, I wasn't processing anything at that moment, to be honest. So I asked it to him, like, do you think this is real? He's like, nah, I think we should go get a second one. So it was about 6ish in the evening when I took the pregnancy test, and most pharmacies around our area were closed. So we then decided to go to one pharmacy that we know that operates till late, and that's all the way in Morningside. So we went, and this time around we got a clear blue pregnancy test. So we got it, and I peed on the stick, and it came back 3 weeks plus. I'm like, oh, Gosian, how can this be? How can this be my life right now, God? Father, I just quit my job. I'm running a whole business from scratch, and you know that it's been difficult. I'm just trying to get my life together, and a baby right now. I know I've told you I want a baby, but right now, God, that was me speaking to God. And then, I was a bit confused that night. Excited, but also like, what did I just get myself into? So, yeah, we slept it through the night. I think maybe we got time to process it in the night. And the next morning, I think I started feeling more of the excitement kicking in. And I guess my mind was just like, so when I. And then we informed our parents first thing to let them know of the exciting news. They were obviously very excited for us and very supportive of the journey. And after like a few days, we then informed the people that are like literally very, very close to us that needed to know in order for them to assist us in the pregnancy. So we informed those, and only after like the 12 weeks mark, only after the 12 weeks mark did we start telling like family and family and very close friends. I feel like when it gets to issues of pregnancy, it's for your benefit to contain it to yourself, just to avoid the noise and the opinions. They can be a bit too much, and you can just do that. For me, it helped me in terms of controlling what information I consume, and I felt like I needed to do that because people have different experiences in pregnancy, and some did not have the best, some had the best pregnancies, and it's up to you to really take what you want to take. And the only best way to control that is if you, or when you have, when you have a limit in terms of how many people you are telling about your journey. So that was how we found out. And basically from there, we obviously had to adjust a few things here and there. I had a horrible first 12 weeks. It was not the best. I was moody. I actually almost thought I was depressed. I thought I was getting into a depression. That was actually before I found out. I thought I was getting into a serious depression because of how my hormones were just going off the sky, and I was moody and I was emotional, and I couldn't understand what was going on with me. So that part almost threw me off. But otherwise, besides the first 12 weeks being difficult, like, the morning sickness and stuff like that, I think I had quite a smooth pregnancy. After that, I did not have any complaints. Like, literally after the 12 weeks, my eating became normal again, obviously eating a lot, and, craving a lot of other things. But I'd say that I was not nauseous or anything like that. I was more normal. Let's just say that I was more normal than pregnant per se. So that's just the journey itself. And the journey itself, right? I feel like people sugarcoat pregnancy a lot. Many people only talk about the good experiences. I don't know, maybe it's because we forget easily after the arrival of the bundle of joy. But I feel like the experience of pregnancy a lot is often sugar-coated. We don't honestly speak about how we feel as women. For me, I did not feel confident because there was my nose as big as my face, and my neck was so dark, and even though I tried to wear makeup, I'd feel like the foundation wasn't setting well on my skin. And the two tones was just difficult for me. I just did not feel confident at all. And I also felt like it's physically very tiring. You're most of the times fatigued, and how you sleep at night, your sleep pattern is completely disturbed. Firstly, because you're not comfortable. You're only allowed to sleep on your sides. Well, for me at least, I only slept on my sides. Obviously not my back, and not lying on my stomach. So I felt like it was very tiring for me. I most of the time felt tired. I didn't feel confident, and obviously with the issue of the emotions and hormones, it's not the best of feelings. However, please don't get me wrong, I'm not saying pregnancy is horrible. No, there are some moments that are amazing. Like that first kick will get you in tears. Like, there's just things that I feel are not documented honestly enough. And that was my experience again, and maybe other women are having different experiences. That's why they're not talking about it the way that I am. But I honestly had a difficult, it wasn't complicated, but I felt like it was a bit strenuous on my body and how I feel and the confidence and so on and so forth. But other than that, the journey itself, it's beautiful. The emotion overpowers everything else that you're feeling. That first day that you meet your bundle of joy, it just changes everything else. So that's what I'd say from a pregnancy, from answering the question of how my pregnancy experience was. I'd say that it was amazing. I got to experience a different side of God. I eventually got to meet my handsome young man, but I also feel like there's other things that we do not speak about that may be challenging for us as women, being how we look, those stretch marks and everything. So I think I've covered that part very well. So the next question is asking, how am I coping in terms of balancing being an entrepreneur versus being a wife versus being a mom, and being all these other things that I can be. So I think it's challenging, guys. I won't even lie. It's really difficult. Because motherhood is a full-time job. Like literally, sometimes I wake up all day and all I do is take care of my baby the whole day, and by the time you check the time, it's 5 in the evening and you haven't done anything. So it can be very difficult. How I managed to maneuver through this one is So first of all, at the beginning of the year, I was obviously very focused on accountpreneurs, and I intentionally did this. I told myself that this year is a year of building my business from an accounting point of view. Gene I thought was already established, and I've already put my name out there, and I wouldn't have to do as much work as accountpreneur. So that was my plan for the year. And I'd say that I continued with that plan even through my pregnancy. I did not stop with accountpreneurs work, but I minimized the amount of marketing that I did and all of that because I wanted to limit the client base that I have. I wanted to manage my current clients because I knew that if I take on more clients, then it would become more work and then more strain on myself, and then that's obviously not good for the baby. So I intentionally did not do any marketing. If you found me, it was because of the marketing that I'd done previously, and word of mouth that worked well for me. So I intentionally did not go the extra mile of getting more clients than I would if I was operating as a normal person. So obviously that limited the cash flow because I had a limited income on a monthly basis. So I then decided to take on an additional task, being the lecturing, which I've spoken about briefly on. No, I've never spoken about it on the YouTube channel. So I've decided to start my journey of part-time lecturing. I think I've always wanted to do this one because I'm quite passionate on development, be it on a personal level or professional level, whatever it is. I just love to sing. I love to see people developed and becoming better people in life. So I wanted to specifically do lecturing, which is more on the professional side of things, more aligned to accounting, which is something I'm trained to do. So I lecture accounting 3 at one of the universities around my area, and that has been good. I think I love it, so it becomes easier for me because then I'm doing it out of passion. But the admin work is a lot. Sometimes I feel like it does get too much, but for this year at least, and through the journey, I felt like it was manageable. So I intentionally just decided to focus my energies on lecturing and accountpreneurs, and everything else I just lay low a bit. That's from a business perspective. Now, from being a wife, I can never run away from that, but I'm just thankful that I have a very supportive partner. Some things I didn't have to do, he just filled in some gaps where I couldn't reach out. And being a mom now has now obviously added to everything else that I've just mentioned. And that too, again, without the help of, family, friends, I don't think that I'd be having a smooth experience as I am now. So I'm sort of managing like where I am now, and mind you, it's without a nanny. I haven't gotten a nanny. My nanny only starts in January, and I feel like where I am now, it's been very difficult, but I'm pretty sure I'm managing. And this is going to be a continuous process that I'm going to be monitoring to see if I'm coping or not. I don't mind if I have to, let go of one of the things that I can let go of. I don't mind doing that just to make sure that I'm still okay, I'm still in the right mental space, and also being realistic in terms of like cash flow and stuff like that, making sure that there's still enough income that's coming in, and not just letting go of things for the sake of relaxing. So that's it from a business perspective. I think I'm this year has been quite challenging, but I'm surviving. I'm okay. The next question is how my birth experience was. So was it everything that I expected it to be before obviously experiencing it? So I just want to say that my birth story alone deserves a whole day. Because I went through 18 hours of labor, guys, a full 18 hours of labor. And so, I'll try to highlight the important parts here and there. So how it started was, it was a Monday, and I think I started having Braxton Hicks. I started having them around week 36, but obviously they were mild, very mild. And then I think around week 37, they started getting more frequent. So I had been having them. And so on that Monday, I thought I was having one of those, So at around 2-ish or so, I started noticing that, my tummy was contracting and releasing, contracting and releasing. I obviously thought it was Braxton Hicks, so I let go of it. But then How I noticed that there was something else that was going on was that at about 7ish or so, I was still having the contractions and releasing. They weren't deep, they weren't anything deep, but it was just like that feeling of contracting and releasing, even though it wasn't painful, but it was consistent. So my mother-in-law was here with us. I let her know, I'm like, yo, yeah, today I've just been having breaks and hicks that I think are not normal. They're not what I'm used to experiencing. So she's in the healthcare profession, so she's very aware of these things. So I was like to her, I told her that, and she was like, yeah, we need to monitor you for the rest of the night. I was like, okay, I'll let you know how things go. It was still not as hectic. Oh, by the way, at this point, I was about 39 weeks and 5 days. So I was 2 days away from my due date. No, I'm like 3 days away from my due date because it was on the Monday and I gave birth on the Tuesday. So around about 9ish or so, I'm still having this contractions. They're coming and they're going, but they're not intensifying. So they're not becoming more and more painful. It's just that feeling of, contracting and releasing, but not really excruciating in that manner. So I tell her, I'm like, yo, I'm still having the same thing. She's like, go and bath. My bag was already ready. I'd already packed my bag. She's like, go and take a shower and you guys must go to the hospital. So I went ahead, I took a shower, and it was about 11ish or so when I finished. And I started chilling because I don't know, for some reason after taking the shower, it felt like I was going through less pain. So I relaxed a bit. And then I had this one contraction that just made me realize that I need to get to the hospital. It was more painful than the others that I had, and it lasted longer. So I was timing my contractions using an app, so it would tell me literally how long my contractions were. And I think it started notifying me to go to the hospital around about 8ish or so. So I had that one contraction. I was like to say I think we need to get ready now. Go take a shower. We need to go to the hospital. So we obviously decided to wait until about 12 o'clock because it would be pointless checking in at the hospital just a few minutes before 12. So he showered and then we went straight to the hospital, which is about 10 minutes away. When we got to the hospital, so the nurse welcomed me, gave me a bed, and obviously they started monitoring the contractions together with the baby's heartbeat. And then she said to me that, I'd have to wait it out for about 40 minutes. So we'd have to monitor the heartbeat together with the contractions for about 40 minutes. And then only then she'll tell me if I'm in real labor or not. So we did that. And obviously after the 40 minutes, she came back and she's like, okay, you are definitely having contractions. Even though they're not as strong, but you are having contractions and the baby's still fine. So what I'm going to have to do next is check for dilatation. So I have to check how dilated you are. And guys, wow, this is also another area that's not spoken about. You guys don't tell us that checking for dilatation is actually very painful. I don't know, maybe this is one of those experiences where it was painful for me and not for other women, but I felt that for real. So literally this nurse shoved her whole hand inside and I was like, wow, this is too much. It was too painful. I couldn't handle it. It was actually more painful than the contractions for me. So she checked for that and she told me that I wasn't dilating. So I was still 0 centimeters. And how's the baby going to come out if I'm not dilating? So she's like, okay, let's wait it out for another 4 hours. Maybe something's going to happen. And if we're still at the same place, we're going to have to call your gynae. Waited it out for 4 hours. Went through the same procedure again, checking baby's heartbeats, checking for contractions, and then checking for dilatation, and I was still at the same place. Well, this time around she said I'm maybe about 1 centimeter, but that's nothing because I'm supposed to get to 10 centimeters. And then she's like, okay, I'm going to make a call to your gynae and I'm going to let him know that this is where we are. So we did that. We called my gynae. My gynae is like, yeah, so I'm not going to send her back home. Yes, her contractions are not progressive, but I'm not going to send her back home because she's 2 days away from 40 weeks and like sending her back home would be torture. So let's monitor. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to induce her. So I'm going to induce her to make sure that the labor goes faster. I got induced, And 4 hours after being induced, still, I was not dilating enough, even though I was in pain this time around. I was really feeling it. The contractions were getting deeper and deeper, and guys, that was painful. But I was still not dilating. I was still not making way. My cervix was still not making way for the baby. Okay, so I think I got induced around about 6 in the morning, and I went through pain all the way until about 2ish or so when my doctor arrived. So that was intense labor, I'd say. From 6 to like 2, I was going through intense labor. I was in pain, and I think I got one of the pain injections to make me feel less of the pain. So initially my plan was that I was going to have a natural birth with epidural. So medically, you're not allowed to get an epidural until you're about 4 centimeters dilated. And obviously I was not there, so I could not get the epidural as yet. So that's why I had to get pethidine, which is the pain injection, to ease the pain a bit. So I got that, and my doctor only came through to the room at about 2 p.m. And he again performed the same procedure, check for dilatation, check if the baby's heartbeat was fine. That was still okay, and I was still not dilating. I wasn't even 2 centimeters at 2 p.m. So he made a call. He's like, no, that's it. First of all, the baby is a bit big, and you're not dilating. So if we want to wait it out for a natural birth, we'll have to wait another week, and like, that's not going to happen. So I'm going to make a call for you to go for C-section. And I was actually grateful at that point because I was going through so much pain. Yeah, I didn't even argue with him. I was like, doc, just please get this baby out. I'm just going through too much pain right now. I would love to just release. So that was it. I went through C-section. That wasn't so bad. I think, like, had I known it wasn't going to be so bad, I would have probably had an elective C-section from the beginning. Yeah, I played myself there. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Next time, I'm not even going to think twice about it. I want to go straight to C-section. So that was my birth experience. I met my baby boy on the following day at around 5 p.m. through C-section, and that was the happiest day of my life. I forgot about all that pain I was going through, and emotionally it was just, yeah, I was at a good place after that. So that was my birth story. So to end things off, guys, where to from here? First things first, I'm definitely continuing with YouTube. That's one thing that I want to focus on in the next year. Continuing with Accountpreneurs, it's obviously going to grow into dimensions I've never seen before. Lecturing is going to continue until, I decide it's not really worth it anymore. And yeah, I'm just going to look out for myself, do things I'm passionate about, speak more, live my truth, live my dream. And I'm so eager to do it now because I have a reason to do it. I have a whole human that depends on me now, so there's no ways that I can't go out there to live my best life, and I intentionally plan on doing that. I intend to take care of myself, even though I'm a mom now, but I really want to be intentional about taking care of myself and, doing all the things that I enjoy. I hope you guys do the same, and I hope you guys do prepare yourselves for the new year, plan, ask God to intervene. Really look forward to a year that is going to be fulfilling for you, a year where you're going to utilize your full potential in all areas of your life. And I hope you get that wisdom to, do all the things that you've always been scared to do, the courage to break boundaries that you've never stepped into before. And that's basically my prayer for you in the new year. I might not see you before 2022, so I just want to say Happy New Year, Merry Christmas to everyone, and I wish you guys a safe arrival into the new year. From me, it's nothing but love. Please do subscribe if you haven't, and stay tuned. Stay locked on the YouTube channel for more content in the coming year. From me, it's nothing but love.